This is my response to Alyssa Grenfeld's reasons why she's an atheist. She has 3 of them. I'm going to let you hear out her video, and then I'll repeat the points and address them.
3 reasons, among many, that I am an atheist. Have you ever noticed that most people are the religion of their parents? You'd think that if there was one super obvious religion, then everyone would have converted to that by now, but instead, most people are the religion that their parents are affiliated with. If there is a God, then he must be a really horrible person. It's not uncommon to hear believers say, "Oh, God saved my baby, what a miracle," even though that same God is completely ignoring all of the babies dying in extreme poverty across the world. It seems to me like God favors those who already live in affluent societies who have access to great medical care. But if you bring this up to believers, they'll say some nonsense about how God has to test some people. There's also just no evidence that God exists, and sure, I've heard tons of personal anecdotes about miracles and seeing things that couldn't be explained, but to me, every time I hear a story like that, there's always a more logical explanation for the phenomenon. Some say the human body is evidence that God exists, but it's riddled with design issues. We get addicted easily, our eyes are too weak, we need surgery constantly, and before modern medicine, women died in childbirth all the time.
The first point. She said that the first point she was a atheist is because people follow the religion of their parents. If there was a true religion, everyone would have already been converted. Well, just because people tend to follow the religion of their parents doesn't mean that God doesn't exist. It does seem to make sense that if there was a true religion, that everyone would have converted. But countless times, even God's own people were deceived by Lucifer and the fallen angels. The Bible warned that false prophets would arise and deceive even the elect. So the very fact that the world is primarily religious is good evidence that a deity does exist and that it is the Christian one. Her second point was, if there is a God, then he must be a horrible person because he heals some and not others. Her example was babies dying in extreme poverty. Well, I've addressed this before, but all suffering is human caused. But I'll use her example to prove my point. Her example is people dying in poverty. One big cause of poverty is the lack of good jobs. Some of this is caused by deforestation, colonialism, and corporate greed. All things caused by man. Another big cause is a lack of education, caused across the world by living environments, kids needing to work, or sexism against women. A third big reason is warfare, which destroys everything, starting with the GDP. Instead of blaming God for the cause of poverty and not saving people from poverty, we must realize that greed, sexism, lack of education, and warfare are the main causes. And these issues are against God's design. Also, God doesn't ignore those children. He has been in process of rescuing them. But God does not interfere where he is not wanted. If he isn't wanted there, he'll make your request, he'll make your wish, and he'll stay away. No matter how much he wants to help, he's not going to force himself amongst you. And the last point was, there is no evidence that God exists. She said that a common one that she's been told about was the human body and its complexity. But according to her, the human body is riddled with design issues, such as us getting addicted easily, our eyes being too weak, the need for surgery, and women dying in childbirth. Well, there's substantial evidence for God, in my opinion. I think there's sufficient evidence. These consist of the existence of the universe, morality, fine-tuning of the universe, the fact that something that begins to exist needs a cause, natural design, and the existence of countless religions, it's more probable to be a theist than an atheist. Also, the human body is not riddled with design issues. The hormones that make us addicted, which are dopamine, adrenaline, and cortisol, have been necessary for humans to survive and thrive, for us to grow. But as humans, as highly intelligent beings, we learned to take advantage of these necessary hormones, which causes addiction. Another point was that our eyes aren't strong enough, but our eyes are strong. They have become weakened, but these are primarily due to staring at screens all day and reading small text, which causes our eyes to strain. Our eyes were created to be how they needed to be. Our eyes were created to see. Our eyes were created to be able to react quick to things. But we have utilized our technology and have damaged our own eyes. Also, her last point for... Oh, it looks like I missed the surgery one. Again, most reasons for surgery are human-made. And a lot of the things that are caused by weaknesses in our tendons and bones, caused by our diets. Anyways, the last one is women would die due to childbirth before modern medicine. But this is because doctors didn't keep things sanitary. The Bible does command to keep things sanitary and tells us how to do it. But because doctors didn't keep things sanitary, this caused massive spread of infection, so big that our bodies could not build up antibodies for it. It isn't because of a design flaw. All these issues caused in the human body are caused by humans, not by God. We were designed how we needed to be. But it's humanity that caused these issues. These could, if humanity did everything right, if humanity did nothing wrong, if humanity got rid of everything that caused us harm, and these things still happened, then yeah, these would be good, sufficient reasons. But the truth is, we don't. The truth is, a lot of us don't really care. And so, it will never be fixed. And in fact, the world's going to get worse and worse. But these three reasons may be her reasons, but they're not intelligent reasons. I love you guys, and Jesus loves you too. Peace.